So again, shoutouts to undalevein for finding a way into the chessboard area without needing to have the blue flame elevator or the tomb active. I'll show you the way that I've been doing it. You just sort of simply walk off of here. You don't have to set up any particular precise positioning, in my estimation. The location of the trigger, again, is kind of hard to make work. There it is. But also to increase consistency to getting into the tunnel, you can just sort of sidestep into it and it will pop you through. And this lets you into the chessboard area. However, this kind of comes at a cost of not having a way of getting back out of here. You see, without the elevator, you can't go up that way. And the tomb stairs, which I'll show shortly, still have collision. So you can't actually make it back all the way up. So you're stuck down here with the chess. This is good enough if you're interested in just getting the chess powers associated, such as the rook and the king. But it is not good enough if you, say, want to bring the Ares key back with you. I was originally thinking of doing some moon pendant strategies involving having the moon pendant and grabbing the Ares key, but that requires an entire other trip because you can't have the moon pendant while waiting for the tomb of the Arindian king to show up. It was a whole shandango, and I wanted a way out of the chessboard area, and I originally couldn't find one because obviously the game is meant to not allow you to go out of bounds. However, I finally figured out a way to do this using a bunch of weird pieces that end up fitting together. So the first thing is that if you open the blueprint menu on the same frame that you open up the chessboard, and again, it is frame perfect here. That'll explain why I'm not going to be able to do it. Maybe I should set my FPS to 30. No, it's fine. We'll do it. Okay, perfect. You can actually be in the chessboard while not being at the chessboard. So you can see here, for example, there's some triggers that actually physically exist here that allow you to leave the chessboard. At any point, I can hit right click, and that will also be good enough to warp me back to the chessboard, which allows you to do such silly things as, for example, this, right? But normally, the game has to register that the chessboard is here in order to drop you off at this position. If the chessboard is unloaded, the game does not have a reference point to let you go, and so you're just kind of stuck in place. But if you can unload this area around you and gain back control, that's good enough to be able to allow you to clip out of this chessboard area. So here's the full set of steps in order to do so. So first you open the chessboard on the same frame so that you're in this walking chessboard state. They call me Bobby Fischer. I'm not going to name this trick. Dear God, don't let me name this trick. You walk through this tunnel that we've actually unlocked access to. And we're going to leave the chessboard from here. However, you need to unload and reload the area. So the way that I do it is by walking into the tomb stairs and then walking back into here. And then... Or that... Or you can just do that. Fuck the frame perfect trick. Just open the menu. That's good enough. Because then opening the menu leaves the chessboard while putting you in menu. And then you can just hover over here. Yeah, no frame perfect tricks. Just kidding, Lamau. And then it allows you to leave the chessboard area while having the Ares key or anything else. I'm happy with that, actually. This is no longer being frame perfect, and this is a consistent way to get back out of the chessboard area without needing to, like, say, moon pendant or anything out of there. Yeah, GG's.